What you know good today, my friends? Hey, on today's episode, if you can't tell, Fat Man Nuthin, it's Sunday. It's cold here in Nashville. It's wet. It's yucky. I wanted something warm. I'm not doing gumbo. If that's what you thought I was gonna do today, I'm gonna do my version of a vegetable beef soup. I call it throw in the pot vegetable beef soup. So follow along. Let me show you how I make it. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil in my pot. I got my Magnalite pot. I usually use a stock pot for my gumbos and my soups. I'm going to use my Magnalite today. It's big enough for it, like a stock pot. Put a little oil, put my fire on medium to high heat. I got my beef stew. I'm going to go ahead and season that up because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sear it in my pot first before I start dumping all my cans of goodness that we're going to make this vegetable soup in. So while that's getting hot, I'm gonna go ahead and dump in some mustard. This is gonna be a binding agent for all that seasoning to stick to. And then we're gonna sear it in the pot. I'm using McCormick Seasonal, some Kindred salt, pepper, and garlic seasoning, some onion powder, garlic powder. You can use anything you want. Season to your ancestors tell you that's enough, or you start sneezing 1 to 2. I don't know. You can add whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to add. Simple sometimes is just the best thing to do. And I don't measure anything, as you've known before if you've watched my channel. So get this nice and mixed. Let that sit in for a little bit. We want our fire to be hot. Man, it's so ugly here in Nashville today. So I'm going to be cooking for you. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right, let me get this seasoned up. I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes to get the seasoning stuck into that meat. I'm gonna throw it in my pot. All right, I got all my meat seasoned, and I'm gonna put it in my pot. I'm gonna sear it. Now, I have about 3 pounds of beef, stew beef, but you don't have to use that much. You cook for whatever you want. I'm making a little bit of extra so I can put some in the freezer for my daughter who's off to college. And my mother-in-law, I'm cooking some for her to take to her as well. So it's not gonna be as spicy as I normally would cook it because she doesn't like a lot of spice in there, but it's gonna be seasoned, not spicy, okay? You hear that sizzling? That means we're gonna be searing that meat. Can you see that? Hold on, let me turn the camera for you. And I can smell that seasoning on that mustard hitting that oil in that bottom of that pot. Smells so good. Now let's get this browned up a little bit. Now while this is cooking and getting my facial in, I did chop up 1 yellow onion. I did want a yellow onion because it's a little bit sweeter for this. I do like white onions too though. That's one of my favorite onions. But I do want this to brown on the bottom of that pot. I do want those greenies, the little sticking, all the flavors in there. So I do want to get this nicely coated. Then once that browning has started on the bottom of that pot, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my onions in there and let them sweat down and break up all the flavors at the bottom of that pot. So that's what I'm waiting on doing. What y'all doing this Sunday today, huh? What you got cooking good? All right, let me get this browned up and I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, the bottom of that pot is starting to turn brown. All that seasoning is getting in there and coating that bottom of that pot, and that's what we want. When you start seeing that, nice and brown and coating, you want to throw in our onions, just like that. And what this onion is going to do is going to sweat down, get a little bit of liquid in there, and tear up all that coating at the bottom and get it nice and loose. And we're going to make this taste absolutely yummy. All right, let me get this sweated down, broken up, and then we're going to add water. I'm going to do probably about 8 cups of water to start with. Be right back. All right, as you can see, all those green leaves at the bottom of that pot, all nice and up. It's off the bottom of the pot. It's actually inside that meat. Looks amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and add in 8 cups of water to start off with. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this cook down. But as you can see, we have a nice, pretty gravy. That's what we wanted. All that is flavored. We don't have to add beef to this because we've set the tone for the base of our gravy and all the flavoring in that beef, those onions that was fried down. All right? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, I'm gonna get a couple of cans of tomato sauce opened and we're gonna dump that in here as well. Be right back. All right, I'm gonna add 1 can of diced tomatoes, juice and all. Not the can, Curtis, not the can. Just the stuff inside the can. So dump it in there. 1 can of tomato sauce. Dump in there. And then I think I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I'm gonna wash it out with my can. Like that. Yeah, that looks good right there. All right, I'm going to put this on a medium to high heat, and I want to cook this stew beef down to where it's tender. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna do some prep work to get everything ready to throw in this pot. I'm gonna just dump it all in and be right back, folks. Now I'm sure you noticed I did not season anything into this liquid after I've thrown it into the pot because I had my beef already seasoned. So I'm gonna test that out once this is softened a little bit. The meat's been softened. I'm gonna taste my gravy and see how it is. If I need to add more seasoning, of course I will, which I know I'm gonna have to add some more seasoning, but I wanna see where I'm at. So follow along right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all my prep work that's gonna go into this pot. Then we're gonna throw it in. Did you see how quick I did all those prep work? Boy, I was going to town. All right, let's check and see how we are in the seasonings of this gravy. It's looking good. It's probably been about 30 minutes since I put this on. Definitely not enough time for it to be tender, but a good enough time for us to see how our flavors are. Definitely needs more seasoning, but I'm gonna add some onion powder, some garlic powder, just the same seasoning I did on my meat. Just gonna add that back into this pot. I'm not gonna add any salt, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, but I will add some black pepper and a little bit of Tony's, not a lot, just a little bit, because I can't have a lot of heat in it. But I do want a little bit of flavor. All right, so I'm gonna start off with that and see how it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put in some minced garlic, that size. I chopped up another, as you've seen, another yellow onion. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. We're just gonna throw it in the pot. That's what it is, we're throwing it in the pot. We're gonna throw in the pot some carrots and some celery. I have some green beans that we can ourselves, low in sodium, but I'm doing juice and all. Juice and all in that. Now, remember, I didn't add a lot of water in here. I added 8 cups, and that's the reason why, because I'm adding juices to this stuff. I'm gonna do 1 can of cream style corn. Cream style, yes, cream style corn. 1 can of whole corn, juice and all. 1 can of peas, juice and all. I'm doing 1 can of butter beans, juice and all. I'm doing some Purple Halls peas that I got from my garden. There's no juice in that, just the Purple Hall peas. I'm gonna throw some mushrooms in there. And I'm gonna throw in some I'm gonna throw in some carrots. Does that look like carrots to you? No, it does not. It's called potatoes. Throw in some potatoes. Now look at my pot. Look how full that is. That's full. That's full like my belly. But anyway, we're gonna stir this around and get this all incorporated. I like to say that word, all incorporated, a lot, as you notice. All right, we're gonna cook this down until the rest of that meat is tenderized. And we'll cook this down for another 30 minutes probably before we retest our gravy to see how it tastes, see if we need more seasonings, okay? Let's get this cooked down. Oh, I did want to show you a little trick. You know, I opened all those cans and it had all those lids. Don't throw the can and the lid separate inside your trash can. Take one can, put all your lids in there. Make sure they lay in flat. And then what you want to do is you want to squeeze in that and then throw it away. That way nobody cuts their hands on those lids. Right? All right, it's time to check on the soup. Throw in the pot soup. Now, as it was cooking, I noticed a smokiness scent to the soup. And I was like, why does it smell smoky? What in the world? I didn't add anything. Come to find out, I bought some flavored butter beans that has a smoke flavor. So I'm gonna taste it out and see how it is. Hopefully it's not too strong and doesn't throw off my soup, but we'll see. You know, I'm not mad at it. It's not too bad. Let's see if the beef has been tenderized. It's good in there. All right, so it's looking good. Now, my mom will throw in some rice. I'm gonna put about almost a half a cup of rice in there. I got my fire on low. I'm just gonna simmer this until that beef gets tendered. The flavors are good. The smokiness is actually pretty nice to it. I don't need any more seasonings, although I did add some seasoning to, oh I did, I just showed you that, never mind. I did show you that I added some seasoning to it. So added my rice, put my fire on low. Gonna let this tender up and then we'll be ready to serve it. Okay, it's done. It's been cooking for hours. The meat is tenderized, the vegetables are done, the smell is amazing. Got me a bowl. Look at that. Ooh, doggy. Man, this looks so good. And I know it's gonna taste good. Now you can serve this up with some crackers. I made some cornbread, so I'm gonna put me a piece of cornbread right in the middle of all this. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Whew, I gotta take a picture of that. Hold on, just hold the line, hold the line. All right, now it's time to taste it. It smells so good. Oh, my light just went out. Got me a little piece of cornbread in there. Gotta blow, it's hot. You know what's crazy about this? That little smokiness too in there from those. I found out I bought some butter beans from Oh Glory, and they were seasoned with a smokiness to it, and it's surprisingly really good in this soup. You know, throw in the pot soup. Telling you, can't tell a fat man nut. Even with a mistake of butter beans that's already seasoned, thrown in there, this came out great. Make sure you try this dish. Until next time, bye.